8 tackles against UTSA. Just what was going right for you during that game?
I was a play-by-play guy. I don't really get too caught up on the last play or anything. And I was excited and emotional about that game because I'd actually been in that Alamo Dome when I was at UIW, and I was hurt and I didn't get to play, and that was going to be my first game from a Juco to get out there and do that, and I didn't get to do that. So I was able to be back in that same dome with a different team, able to play the same team, and that was exciting. So I want to take full advantage of that, and it had been a little bit since I had been back on the field since last season to really kind of cut it loose and go play football. So that's what I try to do, show up every single play and do that, and try to earn the trust of these coaches and these teammates, because I had yet to do that just with a quick turnaround and everything, and how I got here. So, that was something that I was definitely not going to, slack on. I'm going to give it my all because I know these guys on this team are, so I got to do that as well.
Going off of that, how cool is it, being at Incarnate Word and playing UTSA at the Alamo Dome, but now here you're at Texas State playing UTSA almost in the exact same situation?
Right. I didn't write it up. I tell you that. I wouldn't expect any of this to happen, but it sure does. And life happens, and you never really feel like you have control over it, but it's all about how you react to it and stuff. And this was a cool experience for me. Of course we didn't come out with the win or anything, and that really affected me. I gave it my all. I know those other guys were upset, but I know personally I was very upset, just with walking off the field and everything. I'm not a guy that likes to lose. I've lost a lot, and I'll tell you one thing, I am tired of losing. So I will give it my all every single play, and just hopefully people can see that.
Obviously disappointed with the loss, but just, the defense getting a lot of pressure on Frank Harris, just giving UTSA, just what was going right with the defense that day?
I'd say that's who we are. We're really attack style defense, and we got some dogs on our defense, man, and we got guys that are tougher and all get out and are gonna want to get back there, and that's exciting to play on a team like that, and have other guys. I want to get back there. I'm gonna race back there, brother. I'm gonna get back there before you, and have that competition with on the same side of the ball. So, I think that was just a little bit of a flash of what we can do. Especially these first 2 games. It's really exciting for me because I can see the potential in this team and also this defense in particular.
Coming over from Colorado so late in the process too, what made you want to come play for these guys? The coaching staff, the change of scenery, what went into it?
Right. So with I'd ran into some eligibility issues with getting a medical red shirt there in the spring. I was fighting the NCAA with that, and just with getting information and everything. So through that time, I was able to after I got approved, there was a little bit of a gap. I didn't know what I was going to do and whatnot, so I just said put me in the portal, and that's what we did. And I actually took a visit down here to meet these coaches and these staffs, and I liked it a lot. There was a lot of tough decisions going into it, but I liked it a lot. And I knew these coaches and knew these liked their style and everything, but things went this way and that way, and I ended up going there, and then that didn't work out the way it needed to for me and this 1 year that I have and everything. So coming here and then them accepting and giving me that opportunity is something that I don't see happen very often, especially with just that quick a switch, and then trusting that I can come in here and do what they're asking me to do. I just really appreciate those coaches for giving me the opportunity to be here with this team.
Do you have any good Dion stories?
No, because I think everybody else sees it anyways. The cameras are all there, so there's everybody sees what's going on. That's something that it takes a little bit of getting used to for some guys. I don't really care tremendously about all the cameras and stuff. I'm all here for the team and the guys that are participating with me out there. So.
You think that was the biggest dynamic that changed when he appeared in Boulder? Was all the attention, all the cameras, documentaries, all this other kind of stuff?
I would. That's just one thing that changed. There was a lot of changes, with the program and everything, just with how it was ran. It was ran in a good way, and I wish those boys all the best. I have no hate for anybody on that staff or anything like that, and I wish them all the best. And I love seeing them do well. But for me personally, I am more than grateful to be here as a Texas State Bobcat and moving forward. You get hit with situations, you got to make a decision, because if you stay stagnant for too long, that door's going to close, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay, what am I going to do now? So that was just a quick decision situation. Lucky that turned out, and happy to be here.
for someone who doesn't like cameras, they sure seem to find you with Last Chance U also. Well, what was that like for you?
You can try to act like somebody else for so long, but after a month, you're gonna be you, regardless of the situation. And it was a different experience. I think at JUCO level, everybody's so young and just running around and learning everybody. You don't really pay too much attention to that. You just hope that they don't make you look like a horrible person after they get all that film. It'd be hard. If I grabbed one of y'all and followed you around for 6 months, I can make you look however I want. So it's just it was an experience, but it was a good one. Good one.
Yeah. Being from Kansas, just like, what's the difference between being in Kansas, going from Colorado to now being in Texas? What's that journey been like for you?
I breathe a lot better. I feel that. I felt like I never got used to that altitude. It was, I was always sucking wind, it felt like. But my girlfriend's happier, I'll tell you that. And when you have a happy girlfriend, everything seems to be a lot better. She's a Texas gal. She played at UNT for 5 years and went over to Iceland for a couple, or just about 6 months, and then came back and lived out with me in Colorado, and been doing that. But her heart's in Texas, and that's obvious for me to see that. So I think being down in Texas, I've spent some time. 2.5 years down at UIW, I think, roughly around there, and it feels like feels comfortable. I feel comfortable here. I love Colorado and all the things you can do out there and all the freedom and everything with the mountains and stuff. I'm an outdoorsy person. It is hotter than all get out here, but I think I play better in the heat than I do the altitude for some reason. So
being from UIW, how cool was it, those 2 years at UIW, you were being able to reconnect with some of these coaches that are now here at Texas State?
Yeah. Man, like I said, I didn't write it up. I didn't plan for this to happen. I met a lot of those coaches like you said, at UIW, and we had a really close relationship. When you have smaller programs, it seems like sometimes the relationships are a lot closer. People will do a lot more for you as an individual. Not always. Some people's past and everything are different, but for me, that's what that was. I had a strong relationship with all those guys, and they always say in the business, not, it's who you know, and I'm lucky to know these guys and be able to have this opportunity to come here and play for them again. So.
You kind of have a unique playing at the JUCO level, FCS level, Power 5 level, G5 level.
Yeah, right.
So many levels, but how would you describe the difference between those 4 levels of football, or is it just all the same?
No, it's definitely different. And on JUCO level, you got guys that are now blue collar workers, and you got guys that were first round picks. Jermaine Johnson was my roommate and my buddy at Independence, and now he's playing for the New York Jets, and he's balling out doing his thing. And then plenty of other guys that are working and doing great things. It's just you have that wide thing, and then everything's just chaotic, meetings and all that with JUCO, but it's great. And then FCS, everybody's a very good athlete. The size of people are a little bit different. You get to the Power 5 level, everybody's pretty big. Everybody can move pretty fast, and sometimes just the tempo of everything is a little bit faster. But here at this level, I haven't really seen anything drastically different from the Pac-12 that I was in, to what we're in now, the Sun Belt. So, it's all kind of, at the end of the day, it's football. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing. It's just sometimes guys are a little bigger, smaller, whatever it may be.
Being firsthand of that JUCO, I guess that level down in Kansas, what is that for non-people not from Kansas, and what the JUCO world is like up there? What is, how intense is it up there?
I think it all depends on your coaching staff. For me, it was pretty intense. Coach Brown, he was a go-get-'em type of coach. He'd get it done, and he'd no filter on him whatsoever. So it's really about how you react and what message you're listening to and how you take it. But I still talk to Coach Brown. He's a great guy, and he's doing his thing. But the JUCO, man, you'll question, do I actually love football? Is this what I really want to do? And you'll find that out. I think if you can speak to a lot of JUCO guys, eventually you get to a low point, and then you got to decide, what am I going to do? How am I going to start reacting to all this and move on? And but it's just you can't just look around and wish for things to be better all the time. You got to make dough from what you got. So.